Hi, this is Chef Carol, and we're here cooking it up again. Today we're going to make a breakfast bowl made from quinoa. Quinoa is a superfood grain full of nutrition, packed with all the high protein that you may need, and it's super delicious. So, if you've ever made a stir fry, this is the recipe for you, okay? Great. Now we need to get our quinoa prepped for our breakfast bowl. So here's a bag of quinoa. It usually comes in a 1 pound bag. And this is going to cover about 10 servings of quinoa. So this is great for cooking for the family or meal prepping and breaking it down into maybe individual bowls. But it's power packed. So I'm going to show you how to cook it, because this is one of the things that we really find that people struggle with, is how to actually cook your quinoa. Now you can use your traditional pot on the stove, and or you can do what we're doing today, which is cooking in a rice cooker. A rice cooker is a great way, and it comes out right every single time. Now if you can measure, you can do this. Okay, so this bag of quinoa again is for 10 servings per container. You're going to do 1 dry cup of quinoa, and just take note to how it looks. It looks like a little seed or grain. This is a wonderful superfood here. So 1 cup of quinoa, and then for every cup of quinoa, we're going to do 2 cups of water. That sound familiar to you? So we did, I have a little more. We are going to do 2.5 cups of quinoa. Okay, we're going to do the 2.5 cups, and so then now how much water are we going to do? That's 2 cups for the first one, 2 cups for the second, so that's 4 cups. So we're going to do 5 cups of water. Okay, we do need to rinse our quinoa first. It helps to release the enzyme inhibitors that are on your grains when you rinse them, and sometimes soak them. So I'm going to go to the sink and rinse this and come on back, okay? Okay, this is the quinoa here that we rinsed, and you see that little bit of a murky water. You want to pour that off of the quinoa, and then we are going to put it in the rice cooker. Alrighty. We are putting the rinsed quinoa in the rice cooker. And now we are going to add the water. 5 cups of water. All right, now we have our quinoa in the pot ready to cook. So you want to put a teaspoon of salt in your mix, and then put the lid on it, and then you're just pushing the button down on, or look at the setting that is on your particular rice cooker. Some are very simple, like 1 or 2 knobs, and then some have multiple settings. So you want to read the instructions and just make sure that you are using either the white rice setting or one of the settings that is recommended in the booklet that comes with your rice cooker. So the rice cooker is, again, a great way to cook your quinoa. This is going to take about 15 minutes, and it'll take the same cooking time if you were cooking on the stove. The difference is you can walk away from this. This has an automatic feature that will shut the pot off and just allow it to kind of steam and stay warm until you return, where if you're cooking at the stove, please don't leave it unattended, because you'll have the burnt version. Okay? I'm going to use a wok today, and we're going to heat it with just a little oil. You can use a oil that is okay for heat, which we wouldn't use olive oil. Today we're using a toasted sesame oil just for the wonderful flavor it's going to bring. So we're going to put in a little broccoli, about a half a cup of broccoli. It will give you great fiber. It'll be about 2.4 grams of fiber and about 2.5 grams of protein. Okay, so we're going to get the broccoli going. We're also going to add some fresh onions. And so for this recipe, you can add your favorite veggies and you're going to eat for color. Highly recommended, okay? Eating the rainbow is the way to go. So this can be eaten for breakfast because oftentimes we consume things that are super sweet in the first thing in the morning. And that may not be best for you. So this is one of my favorites because it's full of savory protein, great for post or pre-workouts, and then it's a great way to get your day started, okay? But you can also use this same recipe and you can have this for lunch, dinner, whichever, okay? So you're gonna use your favorites. So we got some veggies in here. If you're not a broccoli fan, use some fresh spinach. If you're going to use the spinach, we're going to add it closer to the end because we don't want to cook it to death. We want to keep some life left in it, okay? Today I also put together some, these are plant-based sausages, but you can use your favorite sausage or your favorite protein. If you want to keep it plant-based and maybe you want it to be a whole food plant-based recipe, then I would recommend you doing something like mushrooms. And you can do a variety of mushrooms because they're also very high in protein. This is a meatless sausage that I bought from the store. And so it has about 9 grams of protein in a serving. And I'm just using that today for an example. Another thing that we would do is add, you could add egg as your protein. You could do multiple things. But just always keep that balance and moderation. Maybe you'll use a little less, maybe only a 1/4 cup, or whatever is needed based on what all you're adding. So we're going to do a little egg in here as well. This is a plant-based egg using just egg. Okay, and each serving has about 5 grams of protein. You have so many wonderful options because the fruits and vegetables, they have protein content as well as some things that are higher in protein. So just egg is made from a pea protein, so it's here. So we're going to let our wok really do its work. You have peppers. Colored peppers are going to just add that pop of color. That would be wonderful. So you're thinking about your nutrients, your color, because there's nothing like a plate that looks super appetizing, right? So we're going to let these things just kind of take their time. Once you've done your prep work, this maybe only will take about 10 minutes. So if you've watched previously in the video, we did cook our quinoa. Our quinoa is steamed and it looks something like this, and it should be nice and fluffy. Look at that. We are going to add the quinoa shortly. In the meantime, we're going to season it with some of our favorite spices. Herbs and spices is how you bring out the flavor in your natural foods. I use dried spices as well as fresh. So I'll use garlic powder and fresh garlic. I'll use onion powder and fresh onions. So it's not a one or the other, okay? You do want to use a high quality. I like to use local vendors for those type of things as well. You want to also use your salt in moderation, so follow the recipe. We're only going to put a little bit on here because we did salt our quinoa. So we're going to let the herbs and spices just season these up really good. And again, I use toasted sesame seed oil because it just brings such a good flavor to all of this. So this is going to be your base for the stir fry. You're going to give it about 10 minutes and you're going to let that broccoli turn a little brighter green. Do you see how bright it's turning? So it's going to get a little brighter and then it'll be a little softer. And then we'll be good and ready. So you don't want to overcook your vegetables until they're like soggy. So they're almost there. It's just the perfect touch that you want to do. So take your time. Don't rush it, okay? So all that's right here. What we'll do next is add our quinoa, but we're going to give it a few minutes, okay? Yes, so here we have our vegetables are ready. Like I said, it takes about 10 minutes, your 15 minutes to cook the quinoa and another 10 minutes to saute your vegetables and get them at the right point. So we're going to put our quinoa right into our mixture. And then we're going to mix that in. Look at this. Who wouldn't want this for breakfast? Now this is a great idea even for holidays for you to have for breakfast and wow your family and say, hey, healthy eating can actually taste very good, smell good, and look good. Your quinoa, it's going to be cooked to a texture where it's rice-like, and that's if you follow the instructions that I gave you, okay? It is important to let your quinoa sit for about 5 or 10 minutes after it is done cooking. Once it sets, it really takes on the look and texture that you're going for, okay? Lastly, we're going to add the spinach in here. And it definitely steams down nicely, leaving a lot of the nutrients still there. This is Chef Carol signing off. I want you to eat well and be well. Until next time.